Hi there, and welcome to Side Quest, the in-betweeny podcast we do when we're not having adventures. We sometimes play a different game or interview a fascinating guest, or maybe just shoot the breeze for a little bit about what's going on in the world. Today is one of those days. And who do we have shooting said breeze today? Myself, Steve Weverill. We have Drew Hayes, Rick Walteri, Joseph Brassey, and Robert Bevan. Say hello, everybody.
Hello, friends.
Hello.
Let off my property breeze.
We have Drew Breeze.
Drew Breeze. Shooting the Drew Breeze. No.
Oh, God.
That went unnecessarily horrific. We were about 1 minute into this podcast. I should not have said that.
Woo!
Okay. This was supposed to be a relaxed podcast. This is about...
Steve's planning to murder NFL players? Jesus.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know where that came from.
Steve, you're trying to get into this country right now. This might not be the wisest thing to do.
I know. I've really got to watch what I put on the internet right now.
Steve will never forgive him for bringing the Saints that championship.
Purpose of visit, murder, beloved, cultural icon. Oh, I mean vacation.
I'll teach you to call it football.
Call it the reverse Ted Lasso.
Purpose of visit, revenge. Oh, I mean vacation.
Fuck you for using your hands, you piece of shit.
You make a mockery of the word foot.
Let's see you catch that thing with no arms.
Okay, well, now I feel I need to clarify that I'm not coming to America for any nefarious reasons. Well, slightly nefarious. It is the Orphans and Dragons Con, August 6th through 8th, for which I am coming to America, and will also be transiting through Mexico. So that's kind of launching us into what the topic is today. It's the summer. I'm traveling abroad. If it wasn't for the slightly dicey conditions, I imagine a lot of other people would be holidaying also. So I thought, we'd talk a little bit about summer holidays. The good, the bad, what we miss about it, what it's going to look like for us in this weird, plaguey time we live in. I mean, that was a very roundabout way of coming into this topic, I will admit, but we're here now.
I wanted to talk about Loki.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Loki, but you just told me like 5 minutes before this podcast, I guess I better go research Loki. So I don't have any fucking hopes for that at all.
Yeah, in fact, why don't the rest of us just log off and just let Bob talk for an hour about Loki?
Yeah, go on, Bob. Tell us about Loki.
I told you what I know about Loki is he was the black guy in Santa Clarita Diet.
Yeah. Okay. You thought we were going to riff on that for an hour, did you?
He was hilarious.
Yeah, for like the half an hour he was in like the cultural stream, I'm sure he was great. I don't know if we can get a podcast out of it. I'm willing to try.
That will live on.
I mean, we did an East Infection for like 40 episodes. I'm pretty sure we could probably make a fan cast for the limited screen time character in that now defunct and finished comedy program from 5 years ago.
Maybe canceled, but he'll always live in our hearts.
This was not my idea.
Okay, vacations.
You guys brought it up.
I was just going to see how long they went.
Yes, Joseph, tell us about a vacation.
About what vacation?
I don't know. You said vacations.
Oh, a vacation. Oh, right. Shit. Now I have to. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I'm
them.
putting you on the spot.
So, Steve, I'll go with one that sprung to mind when Steve talked about summer holidays and experiences and how different they're going to be, during the pandemic. This isn't like a full-on trip, but there was a time when I worked in New Orleans, and they would do like these music festivals during the summers when it was nice out, and they would, there would be, of course, bars and like food stands, and it was a great place to go after work and hang out. And one of my most distinct memories from that was one summer day in line for the porta potties. A gentleman was standing at the front of the line holding and I realize this isn't a great term, but I'm pretty sure this is how they would have labeled it at the Spencer's Gifts where it was purchased, a large plastic pimp cup. bejeweled, etc., within which was contained some alcoholic beverage, of which I do not know. So it's his turn to go into the porta potty, and he steps forward and he realizes he has this enormous comical drink in his hand, turns back to this person behind him who is clearly a stranger, gives a nod, just hands them the cup, walks into the bathroom, uses it, takes the cup, gives another nod, walks away. And that is gone. That entire, thinking about that whole, the crowds, the porta potty, handing an open drink to a stranger, that just whole day, I think back and I'm like, nope.
Yeah, I mean, that was dicey before we lived in plague times.
It takes a certain amount of confidence to do that move.
There's a guy who's confident he's drinking 180 proof Everclear there.
Yeah.
It's like, should I take my drinking vessel, which I am absolutely going to drink from for the rest of the day, into this shitter that's been used by 1,000 people before me and probably won't be drained for another 48 hours? Or should I hand it to this guy? I mean, it's a sensible decision. But, it really is the lesser of two evils in the germ stakes.
Yeah, I mean, if they poison your drink, you just die. I think that's better.
Yeah, instead of drinking from a pimp chalice in a porta potty, I don't know whose idea of victory that is.
Also, how long were these lines?
I
mean, if you're gonna be standing in line and you don't want to be for as long as possible, you take your drink with you, and that way, that little bit that you drink, you might pee out while you're there.
Yeah, I'm not faulting the guy's logic in taking the pimp chalice with him. If you're at a festival.
Well, he didn't.
Well,
No, not into the porta potty.
Yeah.
I mean, into the queue.
Oh yeah, he had it with him in line. He got up through the line with it, and then reached the front, and then was like, "Oh right."
Well, no, that's what I was talking about. Into it, you keep drinking while you pee, and then
Oh, you're saying you can be some kind of fountain.
I'm saying you take it in there and you drink some more while you pee, and hopefully some of that of what you're drinking will leak out.
Oh, gotcha. So Bevan is just imagining a closed system going on of you pouring liquid into yourself as you're emptying liquid out of yourself.
It's worth experimenting, is what I'm saying.
It might be. Probably not in a porta potty would be where I would crack into that science.
I'm not saying eat French fries.
Oh God!
Yeah, but
Jesus Christ!
Okay, I tried drinking at the urinal. Now to try eating on the shitter.
The mole sauce is terrible.
Oh God! I mean, you have to have rapid transit for that to be sustainable.
Oh.
And why would you want it to be sustainable? What is the end game here?
Efficiency.
You know something?
Oh.
If you're sitting in the porta potty with your pimp cup and you're holding some French fries, you are king of that beach. You own that. You own that beach. You are at the pinnacle of life.
You are, because you are the kind of just absolutely out of your mind that no one wants to touch, let alone fuck with.
It's that guy with the pimp cup full of French fries.
Am I the only one of us that has ever drank while peeing?
No,
I've drank.
No, I definitely.
But
I'm
not
sure.
for scientific reasons.
Yeah.
It's just because I'm bored.
Well, I'm sorry to elevate you.
I didn't know he'd elevate. If I'm sitting at a urinal with a cigarette in my mouth and 2 bottles of Alka-Pop in my hand, it's not because I require elevation. It's because I'm on a very serious downward spiral that I'm committed to. It had nothing to do with science.
Or because there wasn't anybody behind you.
I don't know if there's anyone behind me. I'm not about other people when I'm in that zone.
These porta fries, man, these are the best.
Oh,
If I could put a carton of McDonald's fries in my pocket while doing that, I probably would have. Because the end game is efficiency.
If you could, what was stopping you?
Just I didn't have any fries. I didn't plan any of this.
So you're sitting. That's when you're sitting there, lamenting the fact that humans were only born with 2 arms.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, take that, science.
See, what you need in a case like that is Drew's old author photo. You know, the drink hat.
Ah, the drink hat.
That's how pros do it.
Bring that to a con one of these days.
Yeah, if you could combine that with some kind, like those harmonica stands you get that Billy Joel has, but with cigarettes and fries. There you go. I think I've solved that problem.
Sounds like Steve has a game plan for Mexico.
I'm still not aware what the problem actually is.
I don't, but whatever it was, I think I've just solved it with technology and engineering.
Oh, so speaking of Steve...
Oh, Mr. I'm too good for science.
Well, you're the one who elevated this.
All right, somebody text Neil deGrasse Tyson. Let's let him put his Twitter thirst to some use.
I tried to elevate this. You brought it back down.
No, I believe I am the billionaire in space of the urinal conversation, actually.
So, has anybody been to Mexico? Where Steve will be,
Yeah, let's get this back on topic. That was a good segue, Drew, but you're going up against a lot of bullshit here.
No, I have not.
I live in Texas, so it was a fairly frequent vacation destination growing up.
Oh, well, that's handy.
Yep.
I've never been. The only reason I am going is out of necessity. I have to spend 2 weeks away from England and the Shenham area, and there are a few other countries for which America allows transit. So I have found myself just going to Mexico. I always wanted to go to Mexico, but I am aware that if you don't really know what you're doing, that can potentially be disastrous. So I've never been.
I feel like this is just so
I've never
cliched to say, but I also don't know how much of it is experiential based on where I grew up. So I'm gonna risk being ridiculous and saying something obvious. Be very careful of drinking the water in a new country. There are different bacteria and whatnot in places, and especially in Mexico, there can be some severe reactions depending on your particular water source, etc. So, if at all possible, stick to filtered and bottled water, unless you know and trust the source, of course.
Yeah, that's a good one. I do tend to avoid the water in foreign countries.
One thing I have been told from friends who have visited Mexico is that it is very easy to get really good food for relatively cheap there.
Oh yeah, extremely
That
so.
is convenient.
Wonderfully so.
Hopefully really good beer for relatively cheap as well, because like I said, I'm not going to be drinking the water.
Yeah, you will not have much trouble there. I don't know what area you're going to. Most of my experience was, of course, it was growing up the touristy places, so mostly Cancun, resorts, that sort of thing. I will say, since we're talking about, memorable holidays, there was one trip I took to Tulum that particularly stands out because we went and checked through some of the ruins that they have down there, and it really was, I think, the closest experience I'll ever have to what it would be like to fall into a wardrobe and step through another world, because the entrance to this area is just sort of overgrown. There's jungle, and then there's some stone walls, and it sort of looks like you're walking into maybe an open air park or something deeper in. And then you kind of just go until you hit this wall with a big, what feels like a crack in the middle. Obviously it's created, but it has a very rough hewedness to it. And you go through this sort of smaller tunnel and you come out, and it's just an entirely different fucking landscape of these ruins and the ocean that's just fucking there. I mean, you couldn't hear it a second ago, and now it's just goddamn in your face. And these just huge plains of grass. It was mesmerizing. It really felt like I had traveled to another world for a second.
I will see your ancient kingdoms brought to life and raise you a news story I found of an Englishman who explored his property and found a folly made of teeth.
I don't know.
So there you go.
I don't know what folly or teeth is.
Teeth is teeth. And a folly is it's when you build a castle, but it's not really a castle. It's a modern building made to look like an old castle.
Wait,
but this one
are you
was
saying
made of
teeth? As
Yeah,
as
teeth.
in the things in your mouth that you chew with?
Well, not my teeth. Or his teeth. I don't know whose tooth.
You've had a fucking...
Yeah, on his front, he
How
didn't know it
big
was
was
there.
the building?
A folly. Honestly, it wasn't that big. It wasn't built by ancient people because they had better things to do at that time.
No, it was just
To
built.
fit a person
build-
inside.
I mean,
that's
yeah,
a
like
lo-
how many
fuckload of
fucking
teeth.
Built,
teeth
like-
were needed to make this fucking building?
Yeah. I mean, you say it's not that big, but even a shed made of teeth is pretty
That's a
freaking
lot
scary.
of teeth.
And whose teeth
It
are
wasn't
these?
made by ancient people. No, it was totally normal modern serial killers.
Yeah, I mean, the ancient people
Are they
probably
baby
needed their
teeth?
teeth. These days, with all our luxury, we can just use our teeth to build follies in the woods that we forget about. And then find.
I-
So yeah, take that, Mexico,
It's-
with your ancient engineering feats of wonder.
If I came upon a building made of teeth, I would just assume I had literally walked into like the devil's territory and sprint.
Oh yeah, that's why I immediately stopped reading the article, because there's no way that there's not like a range on that curse.
Whereas I'm literally looking it up right now.
Yeah, that's a ghost that's not fucking around.
It's like a humorous little story. It's like, by the time I read this, that guy's dead. That guy is dead in a weird way.
That guy's dead, his teeth are gone, the building is bigger.
Yeah, some kid somewhere got a nickel from the Tooth Fairy and was like, "Fuck this shit! I can get more for this as building material."
Oh, God.
So, Mum, what happens when the Tooth Fairy takes my teeth? What do they do with them? Well, they build a folly. Why?
Sell it to
It's
contractors.
best not to ask. A castle, you say, made of teeth? Yes, apparently.
What are they defending?
Best not to ask. Go to sleep.
Gingivitis.
Good night.
And remember, Timmy, that's why we always eat chocolate without brushing before we go to bed.
This is why the British have terrible teeth.
But wonderful castles.
Yeah.
Nice teeth you got there. Isn't it good? You got foundation written all over that smile.
Your teeth suck. We're not going to take them for our Mexican castles.
Does anybody else have any fond summer memories that Steve can turn into teeth?
I mean, they're not summer.
No, but I do have some advice for Steve in Mexico.
Oh, yes. By all
Excellent.
means.
No, trust me, I'm
Um,
taking this all on board. I need all I can get.
From what I've heard, the best thing you can do is put on a big sombrero and do a Speedy Gonzalez impersonation to everyone you meet.
Ow!
Okay.
But
All right.
if you happen to get in a Mexican prison, the first thing you want to do is find the biggest guy in the yard and shake maracas in his face.
Why-
Jesus.
I
Why
really
are
thought
you
that
trying
was going
to
to say blow
kill
him,
me?
and I don't know why.
Well, Drew, your advice is better.
They'll,
I was like, find the biggest guy.
One of those is
they'll
getting me
think you're a
killed.
rattlesnake.
Find the biggest guy in the prison and be like, I'd love to build a castle out of your teeth.
Jesus.
That'll get me left alone. Yeah. By
Yeah,
everyone.
you take the teeth out of one guy's head and make a building on your dinner tray. No one's going to talk to you again.
I'm really enjoying your country, but for one thing, lacking teeth follies.
You just keep talking to everyone about the article and commenting on how pearly white their smiles are.
Yeah, everywhere you go, you should be like, just comment on the architecture. This is nice, but it'd be better if it was made of teeth.
Just every point of interest you go to, just like, oh yeah, this is beautiful. How many teeth did it take to construct this? Well, thank you for the prison advice, Bevan. But hopefully I'll be avoiding that.
You're welcome. I hope you don't need it.
Yeah, I hope I don't need it.
You might if you take my other advice.
If you need it, chances are you're going to be a little late for A&D Con.
Yeah. Well, okay. Well, other than aggressive racism, what's other people's advice for traveling aboard?
Rick,
Oh, I have never been to Mexico, and I hear it's a fine place to visit. in some places. But then again, New Jersey is a fine place to visit in some places.
In some places. Yeah, I mean, I can't really talk. I mean, I'm saying that originally because I was on a budget, and I've been helped out by the wonderful A&D listeners, which is great. Because I was on a budget, the places I was looking at were like, you can stay here for 14 days for £200. And it's like, well, if I saw a place like that in England, you can stay here for 14 days at £200. I would assume that I'd have to knife fight someone for a pillow. So, I'm not...
Isn't that the place you sent me when I was in England?
You asked for the cheapest place. I was really impressed with the deal.
And that is exactly how I felt every day.
I didn't read all the problematic stuff about the area I sent you and your family to until after I dropped you off. Oh, no. I felt terrible about it.
I'll see you tomorrow. Picks up his phone, or maybe I won't.
Oopsie.
But you all lived. And I probably saved you like a couple of hundred.
Our window was stuck open and we were on the ground floor.
Oh, God.
We don't have air conditioning in this country. We just have knife crime.
Excuse me, Governor. You have any teeth to spare?
Oh,
you'll be right at home in Mexico.
Yeah, Steve, you might want to brace for heat. Actually, remembering the way that you wilted in the South Carolina early heat, I'm feeling like Mexico in August is going to be a bit of a journey for you.
Yeah, I mean, considering I'm going to be mostly confined to a room, this is a working holiday. I'm going to be remote working for most of it, so.
I hope you picked a place with a pool.
You know what? I booked the place, and it said the first email I got from them was, there's a pool and a gym. Excellent. It will be limited access because of the COVID situation. I thought that's fair enough. Then I got another email and just went, pool and gym closed until further notice. You motherfucker.
So it's just going downhill fast.
Somebody jerked off in them real early in the morning.
Oh, and your ground floor window is stuck open.
But it's got a lovely circle of teeth.
Keep cool in the teeth circle.
Do not leave the teeth circle after midnight. We are not responsible for your safety outside the teeth circle.
Visit the bicuspid room.
It seems like a nice area. It seems like kind of a business park area, probably for just transient traveler dudes. Yeah, it's not like near any leisure places at all, so I don't know if the pool is going to be an option. If there's no pool in the hotel, I might just have to find a hole in the ground. I don't know what the next step is there.
The pool is closed until further notice, but the donkey show is open tonight.
I could be wrong. I think that's called a cenote. It's like an underwater cavern. I've gone swimming in one. And if you're wondering if an underwater cavern triggers my fear of open water, holy shit, yes!
Oh, absolutely.
Oh,
I mean, that's worse than open water.
I looked in and I saw the depths of how down it went and the caves and shadows, and I swear, there was a fucking demon on my ass. I was fucking out.
I mean,
I very nearly did the cartoon thing where they run on water.
I mean, that's
where the aboleths
valid
live.
Fear of Mexican cave sharks.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's an entirely reasonable assumption to make.
I mean, legit, I would be terrified of sharks in a situation like that. Just any open, deep water sharks. Doesn't matter if they're.
Oh, it's not open. It's a cave. It's just there's not fish or anything. It's like a sealed off cavern. But there are tunnels and stuff that you can go into if you have full on diving equipment.
Well, let's put it like this: if you meet a human in a big open field, you're like, well, it doesn't really matter, does it? If you meet a human in a cave, it's an entirely different vibe.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially if the human walks up to you, stares you in the eye, and is like, they dug too deep and too greedily.
Yeah. So there's no reason I wouldn't apply that same logic to fish. So.
Oh yeah, If there was ever like a horrible monster head that was going to suddenly flick into view for a moment, that was the time.
I was going to say that not something you want to watch the movie The Descent before doing.
Oh God, no.
They built in Dubai the world's deepest diving pool, and they deliberately made it look like a post-apocalyptic structure, like somebody had hollowed out an ancient building and tunneled down like 50 floors. And I thought, that's an excellent way to give rich people nightmares, I suppose.
There's a quarry that that we sometimes would go swimming at near where my parents live, and it's basically it's not something that was hollowed out for swimming. It is a like 200 something foot deep quarry that like 50 years ago hit an underground spring and just filled up with water. And so like you're in there and you're swimming and you can very easily get to the edge because it's not a super wide space. But when you're swimming on the surface, you're looking down into pitch dark water, and all you can think about is the fact that there's still large construction vehicles down that were left there on the bottom as people desperately scrambled to escape from this space as it flooded, and that just makes me uncomfortable.
Yeah, you just know they're the souls of lost children there.
Yeah.
You just can't sit there swimming and being like, I wonder if there are corpses down there.
We have the same thing where I'm from, but it's a much smaller quarry and it's just filled with rainwater. So if you dived into that, you'd just be immediately impaled on rusty metal. So there's less existential dread there and more just like, don't go near that place, you'll die.
Here in the U.S., we call those puddles.
Ah, yes. Rebar soup.
Okay, well, that's something to look out for, regardless of what country you're on, not specific to Mexico, I imagine. Hideous deep water caves and inadvisable swimming quarries.
I do want to talk about something like something we can no longer do because of, or something that we miss doing because of.
Sure.
In terms of
whatever summer trip. I mean, I opened with a very existentially or a very tangentially related porta potty story. So, really, the world is your oyster.
I miss wrestling strangers in my underwear.
Not the turn I was
that's
expecting.
Like a different. Yep.
Well, if you follow Bob's Mexico advice, you can do that every day.
No, it was actually a
15 years.
It was a very specific tradition that happened in some events I went to, and it was fun.
It sounds fun.
It legitimately was. We would go and we would meet someone, and you'd wrestle, and then you'd talk about the experience, and then you'd walk away from it enlightened.
So, other guy in underwear, we just wrestled.
How was that for you?
I mean, sometimes
let us agree to never speak of this again.
Sometimes it was that. Sometimes it was like that.
I would have preferred more penetration.
God.
Oh dear.
These were white when I bought them.
I do miss sword events though, because I mean, we can't really go do those at the moment. And I got to visit a lot of places that I had never been before and would have otherwise had no reason to go to, because of those. Like it's like, there was no other reason that I was going to go visit Baltimore. There was no other reason that I was going to go necessarily visit Houston, and that's how I ended up down that way. And I just learned a lot of cool things and got beat up by cool people and
Meet cool people and fight them.
yeah, basically.
Yeah.
And that was a whole portion of my life that's now I do rather miss.
I can just imagine wandering in there by accident.
This reminds me of something I noticed on my second rewatching of Loki. Oh shit! No, I'm sorry. We're not talking about that tonight. I'm not going to.
Fuck you.
No. Tell us about Santa Clarita Diet.
Have I told my fighting Italians in a Roman Park story?
That seems like something I would have remembered.
If not, if so, tell it again.
Okay, no. So when I was in 2013, I went on a family trip to Italy. It was me, my wife, our like 3-month-old son, and my parents and sister. And we did Florence for a few days. Then we were like in the Italian countryside for a few days, and then we did Rome for the last chunk of it. And I basically put out a random call on the sword communication channels, basically being like, "Hey, I'm a sword guy. I'm going to be in Rome for a few days. Anyone want to meet up?" And I got a ping back from a guy who spoke very little English, and who was nonetheless part of a sword club, and he and his buddies basically drove down to this Roman park and contacted me with a time and place, and I basically grabbed my gear and I hoofed it out to fight a bunch of strangers. And it was loads of fun. Like, I got there, it was 99 degrees, because it was in Rome, and so I think we were there in September. So bakingly hot, and I met up with them, and they'd already been fencing for a while, and so they all wanted to fight me then. So I had to basically do it one at a time for like an hour. And I have this funny memory of everything was going kind of fine for me until I fought this very large guy who I could not touch him no matter what I did. Like, my sword couldn't reach him. He was dancing out of the way, so I thought, okay, I'm gonna close with this guy and I'm gonna grapple. And I did that. And like, when you grab someone, often there's a little bit of movement on their limb. Like, they either try to pull back or they move in close. I grabbed his arm and he just didn't move. There was no motion whatsoever. And
is this where I should start stroking?
No. What happened was I looked immediately at his chest, and I saw a sign. I understood what was on his chest for the first time, which was a T-shirt that basically said, like, All Florence Wrestling Association or something like that. And my eyes flicked up, and I got a quick glance of his face, which had like the most evil grin I'd ever seen, and then I was basically thrown. And I don't really remember being thrown. I remember teleporting from standing up to being on my back on the ground.
I gotta say that, like, I'm in your country, who wants to fight me? Is a very English approach to tourism.
I basically do it whenever I go to a new country that I know has like sword people in it. I put out the call, I'm like, who wants to fight me?
I thought this was going to be about some kid grabbed your wallet and you traumatized your family by beating the shit out of them.
No.
That's it. Give me your teeth, you little bastard.
I've got a castle to make and a warning to send.
It was pretty great to tell my parents that morning, oh yeah, I have to go to this park today. They're like, why? I'm like, because I'm fighting some strange Italian men. Like, is that a euphemism? No, it's not. I'm going to fight some strange Italian men. Have you ever met any of them before? No. I mean, I will.
Today thou should know my fists.
Well, what better way to get to know someone?
There really is.
Never really know someone until you've tried to stab them.
Okay, then.
Yeah, that's probably my wildest vacation story.
Most of my vacations pretty much involve my family and I going to amusement parks and riding roller coasters, so nobody got stabbed, you know. Nobody asked for teeth.
So what's your favorite? That's a lie. Every amusement park, one of the mascot characters asks for teeth. What's your favorite amusement park?
You know, last really good vacation we did down in Virginia. We did King's Dominion, and we also did Busch Gardens, and both of those. And I'll say we hit both parks on weekdays instead of weekends, so they were relatively empty, and they were both awesome times. I mean, King's Dominion is a pretty family friendly park, kind of like Hershey Park, and like, you know, Busch Gardens. There's just a ton of, like, you know, awesome stuff to do. So hard to say which one was better, but I do remember we just had a great time overall in both of them. Oh, and then we went.
Yeah, King's Dominion was my park of choice when I lived up in Richmond.
Then I was going to say, we went to Williamsburg, where my middle son just bitched the entire time, so that was less fun.
Well, that's what middle children are for.
Pretty much.
Man,
I speak as a middle child.
On the subject of, summer and amusement parks, I think I've mentioned once or twice, but if we're talking fond memories, I grew up loving Astro World in Houston. That was like an hour and a half drive away, so once a summer, if you were lucky, you'd get to go ride the big coaster, the Texas Cyclone. There was a water park right next door you could pop between. It fucking ruled. Like, I lived in constant envy of people who were actually close enough to have season passes. And now it's a fucking parking lot.
There's a amusement park in near Ocean Park, Maine called I think it's called Funtown, and the main thing about that place is that they have it's otherwise kind of an unremarkable like small rural amusement park, but they have a gigantic wooden roller coaster there, and my friends and I used to ride that thing at night, and it was so much fun.
I just gotta say, Funtown sounds like something a pedophile would call their basement.
Yeah, that does sound creepy as shit.
It's the place is creepy as fuck at night, and going on that roller coaster is a trip because it's not lit.
There's a place in Pennsylvania about 3 hours away called Knoebels, and it's kind of like a fireman's fair. Just decided to stay and put down roots, and it's a fun place. But damn, their concept of of ride safety is just non-existent. I remember the first time I brought my youngest son on there, they were like, "Yeah, he's big enough to ride this coaster." I'm like, "Oh, there's seatbelts? No." And basically halfway through the ride, I saw him kind of sliding out the side, and I was like, "Okay, let me grab hold of you," because there was no way he was staying in that car otherwise.
Shit, I had nightmares like that.
Mind you, I still kind of consider that a fun memory.
Oh yeah,
it's one of those things. As long as you stay in the car, it's a fun memory. You go flying out, well, then it changes.
If everyone lived, it's a holiday.
Kinda. It's a little bit the way it goes.
That's the point of a roller
adventure.
coaster. You're supposed to feel like you're gonna die, and if you don't, you win.
And if you do, your family kind of wins, depending on the settlement.
Yeah, if you do, the legend goes on.
They have to put your name on the coaster if you die on it. It becomes the Steve Wetherell Express.
I used
everyone
to work
wins,
at it.
really.
I used to work at an amusement park, and every summer there was some dumbass, and like of course like the rumors spread of how unsafe the rides are, but it was always some dumbass who somehow managed to like slip out of the restraints and be like, "Oh, I'm gonna stand up at the top of the hill." Physics, motherfucker.
I'm just gonna surf this roller coaster. That's a thing I'm sure I can do.
This will go well for me.
Although I did have one scary moment riding one of the rides at King's Dominion, one of the older coasters, where we're going through a corkscrew loop and the shoulder harness disengaged.
Oh.
I mean, corkscrew loops are pretty fast, so you're kind of not going anywhere. But at the same time, I'm like, and this is how I die.
Yeah, I mean that's a pretty clear message from the universe that you are mortal.
One of those roller coasters that's like more rust than paint.
No, that would be a great feature. Like, if it was still safe, but like they had like too many restraints on you, like a superfluous amount, and then like one of them broke off mid-ride on purpose.
Jesus.
If they could
That's
just
brilliant.
scientifically work out, at this point in the ride, the centrifugal forces means they will not be able to leave their seat anyway. So we're just going to fuck off the restraints for about 2 seconds, just enough for everyone to shit themselves.
No, just extra restraints. Like, all right, this ride doesn't require shoulder restraints, and then the shoulder restraints you have suddenly give out. That's extra scary and fun.
I always thought the best thing to do would be you have 2 carts and everyone's on the first one and you see the one in front of you. And then as you're going along, just one of these carts just barrels off and smashes into the ground. It would be like a fake one, but just, realistic enough that everyone is in mortal terror.
I mean, that would add to the thrill.
Oh, when the technology is there, like you're not even seeing reality. You're seeing the screen in front of you, where like the screen is projecting the image of the people in front of you, and one of their heads flies off.
No, the technology is there. They actually have some roller coasters where they let you wear VR headsets.
Yeah.
They can pump whatever the fuck they want into your brain at that point.
Yeah, but if you're wearing a VR headset, then you've got some disbelief there. I'm talking about they don't tell you.
I mean, they have green screen like digital-ish roller coasters where they like create a simulated environment that you are racing through, and oh boy, it is A, not believable, and B,
No.
Jesus in God's name, if you are motion sick prone, it is the worst. The fucking Harry Potter ride at Universal.
Yeah,
I-
I've been on that.
I staggered out. My friend truly looked at me and was like, "Are you all right?" I walked to a trash can and just held myself there for a minute. Oh,
I gotta say, like, you know, we don't need green screen or VR sets. There's a way to realistically do this, because presumably there's like, you know,
Prisoners.
there are criminals that need to be executed.
God!
So you got to give them a choice. It's like, look, do you want a lethal injection or do you want to make someone's day magical?
they're the ones who did the Speedy Gonzalez impression. All right, they
God!
knew what they were getting into.
I know how I'd want to go out. I gotta make some fucking memories.
So it's either the chair or we decapitate you in the front seat of this coaster and take a picture for the kids to remember.
It'll be quick and it'll be awesome, and everybody will learn something about themselves.
I think it'd be preferable to lethal injection. I've
Yeah.
heard some shit about that.
I have not heard some shit about who are you hanging out with who survived a lethal injection.
Not survived it, but spent a long time dying an agonizing death.
Is this your origin story?
And these are not people I'm hanging out with. This is just shit I do like Wikipedia deep dives while I'm drinking at night.
I thought you were going to say this is you getting messages from like your Facebook group there. It's like, yeah, I'm reading through First Caverns and Creatures. Been 3 hours since they lethal injected me. You think I'm going to finish it?
Oh, Jesus.
No, if
Oh,
people, if my fans are dying, I don't care about them anymore. They're not buying books.
Well,
See, that's why you got you got to go the KISS route. You got to invest in Caverns and Creatures, coffins.
well, there you go. You covered all the bases there. All the horrible bases. How did we get onto roller coaster execution?
Yeah, I don't know.
We were talking about holidays.
I think Joe brought us here.
I don't think I brought us to decapitating people.
Well, I don't know. It depends how vigorous these Italian park knife fights get, I suppose.
Oh man. Okay, so I have another. I can bring us back to vacation and still sort of amusement parks. I tapped on the idea of a water park earlier, but aside from like the big fun amusement one, there was a smaller one that was kind of more drivable. So like a couple of times maybe we would go, and it was like not big, and like it was a place where you like brought your own cooler in, and your parents snuck beer under the cokes. Or my parents snuck beer in under the coke. Let me walk that back a second. But like I have great fond memories of my burned ass feet and like sitting in that wave pool that had to be 90% piss. But you know, water parks are just so inherently disgusting, but you just have to mentally check out and be like, fuck it, I'm gonna have fun.
Yeah, you got to get over yourself a bit for water parks.
Yeah. I mean, with water parks, you got to get in with the acknowledgement that this isn't water so much as DNA stew.
Oh
Yeah.
God, Rick.
It's just it's human soup.
Yeah, yeah. But I mean, the wave pool's so damn fun.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do?
Pools are fun.
Not jump with waves?
Waves of piss. I mean, you got more incentive to jump the waves.
Yeah, you guys are going about it the wrong way. I've never even given it a second thought. I just enjoy them.
Bob's the one pissing in the lazy river before he even gets in.
Oh, no, you get in first. I'm not a fucking maniac.
Bob's on the bridge that they all pass under. Oh, looks like a rain! It's a rainstorm.
I mean, really, what difference would it make if he did do that? It wouldn't make much of a difference.
Hey, kids, you're going under the waterfall now.
Just be another attraction.
Yeah, it looks like Bob pounding Kirkland Lights. Bevan Falls is about to erupt.
The waterfall is the place to do it. Nobody feels any warmth under the waterfall.
Good God.
I mean, there are certain things like when you get out and like someone else's band-aid is on you, then you're like, oh, this is intolerable.
No, then
bad.
you toss the Band-Aid out and you feel like I've done a service.
But the rest of the time, if you can't see it or taste it, it's fine. You can just forget about it.
Excuse me?
It's fun.
Did somebody lose this tampon?
Oh no,
Oh, damn it.
that would ruin a day.
Toss it to the side. You've done a service. You're
Are we
welcome,
talking into a trash receptacle or just tossing it on the side?
Well, no.
Here, kid, use it as a flotation device.
Unless you have an impeccable aim, no. You toss it on the side. Somebody else can take care of it from there. You've done your job. Being out of the water is good enough.
How do we feel about the high slides, both as kids and now that we're adults with more breakable bodies?
Oh, I love them.
I do too. It
They're
hurts me now, but
terrifying.
I don't give a shit. They're fucking. There's nothing like that moment when you're first off and you're barely connecting.
Last time I went on the slide, people fucking applauded me. I'm an 18-stone man. I was like some kind of submarine torpedo coming down that thing.
I don't like the drop ones, but there was one at Action Park that was called Surf Hill. That was basically those giant slides you slide down with the ones with the hills are just they slide in a potato sack or so.
Yeah.
It was basically like that. It was basically like that, except water and a lot steeper. So by the time you got to the bottom, you basically went flying off that last bump.
I really hope you
into
weren't
about
in
maybe a
sack
foot and a
when you
half
hit
of water.
The water. That sounds dangerous.
There was a pair of slides at a water park that I went to when I was probably like 10 or something, and it was basically like a slight decline, and then it was practically a vertical drop, and then a swift up, and then a swift like uprise at the beginning. And the thing that I remember about going on these damn things was I at the time I was pretty sure that I was not actually on a slide. I was just falling in close proximity to one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sometimes you are, but
Yep.
whatever their design is, people don't die on them, and I watch long enough to make sure enough people don't die on them before I do it.
That's 30 people. None of them are dead. I guess I can go.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah,
No,
I
the
mean,
odds are
not
in my
die,
favor.
not die, but you might break your pelvis.
Well, I mean, naturally, if that happened, I would be aware.
Be aware.
But no, those are fun. And you know what else I like? I like the ones that I don't even know if this is a common thing. This is one I went on in Korea, where there's a slide, there's like a big drop, and then it sent you into a funnel, and you swirl it around a couple of times like you're in a toilet until you finally went through. That was fun.
I've seen those. Those they have those here.
Yeah,
The human turd experience.
Yes.
yeah.
Now I know what it is to truly be a piece of shit.
The shit experience.
I'd really lean into that.
I tell my kids, like, look how fat I am. I didn't clog this toilet.
Shut up, the guy at the top with a plunger just prodding you, going, "Get down there, you piece of shit."
They're just pouring drain cleaner on you.
That's that's a marketable experience. You
Yes,
make the
yeah.
hole a little bit too small, and not a guy, but like a giant mechanized plunger shoves you the rest of the way through.
Oh my god. It's like being born again.
I don't know how true they are, but there are tales from Action Park of people getting stuck in in some of the water tubes, water chutes.
Oh, I hope that's true. Because we need to keep a little bit of magic in our lives.
They must be, because there are really fat people, and these kids being paid like $6 an hour to run the slides. Whatever. Your turn. Go ahead.
We got another one stuck. Okay, hold on. Gotta release the Vaseline.
Try it like lower the piss content, up the lube content.
Jesus Christ.
Just there's two levers. That's the only two levers in the park. Lube and piss.
Piss
crap.
can be lube.
Oh,
I don't know, we're getting into the hard science again here.
Yeah.
This has been the most deranged summer fun podcast episode.
But what are we supposed to do, Drew? I'm going to be in Mexico for 2 weeks in a hotel room for lonely businessmen.
All right. Well, I just gave you the hint.
Yeah.
Piss can be lube.
All right. So I think my most depressing vacation was I went on one vacation as a child, just one. We were supposed to go down to Virginia for about 4 or 5 days, and the only thing I wanted to do was go to this place called Dinosaur Land. Fortunately, I made it to Dinosaur Land, which kind of sucked because, like, you know, the brochures made it up to be this awesome place, and you get there and it's like are pretty crappy statues that don't even look like dinosaurs.
Welcome to Dinosaur Land.
Yeah.
But this is the plot of Clifford.
That's what I was just saying. This is literally the plot of Clifford.
And then my parents fought and we went home early.
Well, you know, you're a
Thanks,
child.
Clifford.
It probably took you a little while to realise Dinosaur Land was shit. Your parents probably figured it out straight away. They had experience.
For a second, I thought Rick was genuinely just doing the thing from Clifford as a bit.
Let's fake a fight. It's better than paying for this bullshit.
That might have been the vacation where my parents were just like, you know, staying together for the kids just sucks because this one's too dumb to know fake dinosaurs.
I say we leave him here. No, he'll find his way. I say we take him somewhere else and leave him.
Son, are you lost? No, my mommy said that the Tyrannosaurus was raising me now.
And it's just a cardboard cutout from Jurassic Park.
I won't let go of the T-Rex. It's my new dad.
Was it like in Pee-wee's Big Adventure, that dinosaur park?
No, it was like worse.
Jesus Christ.
And I remember, like, my first bit of disappointment. You walk through this pterodactyl with its like wing, like its wings make an arch to like get you in.
Oh
And I was so psyched about it, and then the entire thing was just full of cobwebs.
I
Okay.
looked
Yeah, I
up
think your parents
Dinosaur
made the right
Land,
choice.
Virginia, and oh my god.
All right, I gotta see this tune.
Oh my fucking god. The Mylodon. I can't fucking.
Oh wow.
Oh boy. I don't think these have been touched up since you visited, bud. These are recent pictures, but like.
Yeah, because I remember some of these attractions.
Oh my god.
We're going back 40 fucking years here.
I love that podcast has turned into us just looking at pictures of a shitty old park. The Stegosaurus looks like he's begging for death. Kill me.
I drew more convincing dinosaurs as a child. If somebody had just 3D printed my doodles, I could be a theme park mogul.
My favorite one is the first thing that pops for Google image search, which is of extremely demented looking shark mouth.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Y'all found the mastodon.
There's a picture of a brontosaurus with its head against a tree, and it looks like it's just fucking died of boredom.
Oh my god, I have to show y'all the mastodon.
Oh no! What are these carved out of? Did somebody just carve these out of wood?
I put a link in the Slack. Tell me if y'all can see that one. The mastodon looks like it has just shit its pants at a work party.
What the fuck am I, a dinosaur land? I'm not a dinosaur, and I'm not sure any of these other things are either.
Do these things know I'm food?
They have a King Kong. They have an unconvincing King Kong. That's not a dinosaur.
Yeah. You can just tell, like, whoever's making these shitty things, we're just like, yeah, kids don't know the difference between King Kong and a dinosaur.
There's literally a statue of a T-Rex biting a fucking brontosaurus to death, and the child posed in front of it could not look more bored.
Oh dear.
Oh my!
It's like looking in the past. He's like, yeah, my parents were pretty terrible too.
I keep trying to look at the mastodon. I can't.
I've made a huge mistake. Oh, we might have to put the mastodon picture on the Facebook page.
That is going on the YouTube thumbnail.
Yeah, that's.
I expect this episode to go
I
viral.
feel like I should draw a parody, but I don't think I could.
Yeah.
Oh Jesus Christ! This is what happens when Robert Bevan draws a theme park.
Yeah.
Oh, did you see the caveman?
Yeah,
Here, let me
so
post that.
at the end of this one, I guess I have to say I'm a little bit on Rick's parents' side.
I'm the opposite. I really want to go here.
Oh man,
Oh,
no,
not sober.
we haven't even talked about the worst one. There's like, I don't know what kind of dinosaur this is because it sucks, but it's the statue of it has its legs buried in the ground as well as its tail.
Oh, guess that one.
Is that the sloth?
I don't know what it is, but
It
it's like
it
it's
looks like a
stuck
giant
in the
sloth.
ground.
Hold on, I'm about
But
to
I
drop
guess
one.
there's-
Oh yeah, it's like it got caught as the Earth was solidifying. Oh
That's
my
the only
god.
reason you'd stay in Dinosaur Land.
Okay, we do have to talk about stuff other than Dinosaur Land pictures. Although, yeah, I do sort of want to do a D&D trip here now.
Oh, A&D Con 2022.
Traumatized Rick.
Dinosaur Land. Just gonna sit Rick in that fucking unconvincing King Kong's hand. We're all gonna dance around it.
If our characters go to a dinosaur island, I want to fight the one with its legs and tail stuck in the ground.
The ever surprised mastodon is your guy. Oh,
I love the fact that there's a dynamic fight scene between a T-Rex and a Brontosaurus, and it's supposed to be the T-Rex victory over the Brontosaurus. The Brontosaurus is on its side, but it clearly wasn't carved that way. It's clearly just carved to be standing up, and someone has pushed it over.
I like the one of a dinosaur literally snatching a flying one out of the air and eating it with like blood running down its mouth. All right, so Rick definitely, I think, might have won for worst vacation, or most negative memorable vacation. God, I'm trying to think of anything on par with fucking Dinosaur Land.
I dropped one more in the Slack.
Hey, it's Petosaurus.
Oh dear.
Hey, kid, I'll give you a blowjob for a nickel.
Oh!
Dinosaur does look very drunk, like it is explaining its problems to a
Who's
child.
paying who?
Oh, God.
Well, for one, I feel a lot better about my pending trip to Mexico now. There's no way it could be, even if I take Bevan's advice, there's no way it could be as bad as Dinosaur Land.
Yeah, if you get really, really drunk and you wake up in Dinosaur Land, on the other hand, then you're in some deep shit.
Oh, man.
Nah, then you're in America.
No, you're in Dinosaur Land until you're out.
Yeah. The laws do not apply here.
I almost would love to see like someone just shoot a Jurassic Park attempt, but in Dinosaur Land.
Oh, man.
Oh my god, how awesome would it be to do like a carousel type movie and just do nothing but film the like the
You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to get that scene where they first pull up and the music comes in, and he like moves their heads to look at the gasp at the majesty, and then just do a slideshow of all these fucking pseudo dinosaurs.
Steve, don't say it. Do it.
We spared no expense, obviously.
Oh, no, I have to do that now.
Yes, you do.
Your next movie masterclass.
Oh, this is going to topple my heaters on video as the best thing I've done on the internet.
Wow. I am racking my brain for anything like that, and I got nothing, man. Rick, you are champ.
It's gonna send some people to Dinosaur Land.
Yeah, there's no really coming back from this. I mean, this has been a strange journey. We sort of had a topic, but we ended up in Dinosaur Land.
We did. And like all things that enter Dinosaur Land, I don't think we escaped.
No.
It's the land that time deliberately forgot about.
So glad I did all that Loki research.
It's safe to say a part of my soul will always be stuck in Dinosaur Land.
Yeah, I mean, it is where souls go.
Trapped in amber.
Rick's soul is the shocked mastodon.
The horror.
The horror.
That's wonderful. That's cheered me
This
right up.
has been another one of my therapy sessions. Thank you for joining.
Oh, I guess we can close out by... We all know we're going to A&D Con in Nashville, August 6th through 8th. But is anyone else trying to do any summer trips this year? You know, with the things as they are, obviously you might not be able to, or might have to do it in a special way. So I was just kind of curious if anybody's taking the role.
I went to Florida last week. We went to a swimming pool, went to the beach, had some fun. No mastodons.
I might get a seaside holiday in right after the con, really. Not too a couple. Seaside holidays in England are pretty shit, but it's a very different kind of shit than Dinosaur Land. So, you know, it's not as embarrassingly bad as Dinosaur Land.
Actually, when I went to Europe, I was excited about looking at nude beaches, but when I saw them, they looked a lot like Dinosaur Land.
I'm for talking about other vacation plans we have this summer. Yeah. My wife and I and kids and two other friends are basically renting out an Airbnb near the coast, near the Washington coast this summer. Like later, I think in August. So that's gonna be really nice because we'll be basically away from everything, and it'll be nice and chill.
We're just doing some day trips. You know, my middle son likes going in the city, so taking him there. And oddly enough, when I'm at A&D Con, I think my wife was like, "Well, when your father's gone, we'll go do fun stuff at Hershey Park."
You turn to her and say, "No, Dinosaur Land."
Sorry, honey. We can only afford Dinosaur Land this year.
It's the family rite of passage. We all bear the same scars.
I kind of want to take my kids there.
I'm going to Nashville. I've bought you guys some tickets for a fun vacation trip while I am away. It's Dinosaur Land. You have to go to Dinosaur Land. Everyone
I made a
needs
deal
to
with the
share in the
T-Rex.
misery.
I have to honor it.
If I don't supply him at least one fresh soul per generation, he will come for me while I sleep.
Hey kids, guess what I got you season passes to?
Oh, I'm gonna head down to the Texas coast and visit some family, and maybe pop down to our version of a beach for a day.
That sounds nice.
Nice. Get
Yeah.
some beach time in, yeah.
Yeah. Adjust your expectations. There's a reason I said our version of a beach.
It'll do. At this point, it'll do.
Yeah, that is true.
If it's somewhere between an isolated hotel room in Mexico and Dinosaur Land, it'll do.
Dinosaur Land doesn't have a beach because they were afraid of them escaping.
God, I so hope you get to your hotel, Steve, and they welcome you. Welcome to Dinosaur Land, Mexico.
That mastodon is in my room, just overlooking the bed.
Clever girl.
No. It's in the bathroom, overlooking the toilet.
Just that mastodon. That's the only attraction in the hotel.
Staring at you right when you're sitting, so you gotta have eye contact the whole time.
We have one room left, and it's an unusual one. Granted.
Perhaps you'll be the one to survive the first night. Wait, what?
In your tooth hotel, are the chandeliers made out of mastodon tusks?
Oh, yeah.
You can either have the teeth room or the mastodon room. I'll take the teeth room, thanks.
I'm British.
The mastodon suite, please.
Oh. Well, I think that is probably as far as we're going to take this without getting more terrifying.
Whatever that was, it's done now.
It is. It has. No longer is. It was.
If you guys want to talk about Loki, I'm right here.
Well, maybe we'll save that for the next side quest, but as you all know, we'll be back next week with regular Authors and Dragons, and then again in 2 weeks with another side quest. Until then...
I hope I don't suffer any head wounds.
Bye.
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 Bye.